What's going on, people? So, got this box in yesterday, I want to say, from Finish Line. When I say yesterday, I guess that doesn't mean a whole lot unless you know what day I'm recording this or whatever. Yesterday was June 16th, 2021. Now you know. So anyways, I got this box in yesterday. Now you know what that means. From Finish Line, right? And I honestly didn't expect to ever get these. These are those, the All-Star Foams, something like that's what they're calling them. Because they came out on Nike, right? And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, if they're gonna be there, maybe they'll be in some other places, and maybe they'll be local or whatever. I was kind of counting on that, and the fact that most people don't really do the whole foamposite thing. And then they were only on Nike, minus some smaller sizes that made it to some stores. So needless to say, me getting them did not happen. So I was like, all right, screw it, whatever. I moved on, right? There's always something else to do, right? Always something else to buy. Probably bought those Marvel Legends figures or something. But either way, last week or something like that, I saw that Finish Line had them in stock, at least size 9.5 and below. And I was like, well then, that's good enough for me. So let's see what's going on with that. And as you can see on the side of the box, this right here is that 9.5, right? So let's go ahead and get this thing opened up and see what we're looking at here. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get these for like a discount, like what would have been nice, you know what I'm saying? I did have some Finish Line points or whatever, so that brought it down just a little bit, but foams are expensive, so when you bring a foamposite down by a little bit, it's still a lot to pay. And I don't like that. You know, what's this, $230 or something? Yeah, it's freaking ridiculous. But let's go ahead and see what's going on. This is kind of a nice little paper. It's got a little bit of a weird glossy kind of thing going on with it. So that's cool. And you have this right here. And, does that glow? I guess it does. I happen to have a black light right over there. I thought it was over there because I was messing around with this Undertaker Funko thing earlier. But yeah, so I'll have to break that out in a second and see what's going on. But these are pretty all right. You know, I mean, I don't know if you know, but I am actually like a foamposite guy. I just don't get many of them because most of them don't look good. But I've done a collection video. You can watch that if you're curious to see what all else I have in there. I think everything's in it, minus those all black ones and those Detroit Tigers ones. But looking over these real quick, everything's looking like it should, which is fantastic. And does this have a color on the side? It is black and barely green and black. So that's cool. Let's go ahead and give a good breakdown, review, and all that stuff of these Nike Air Foamposite Ones in black, barely green, and black. Again, going off the side of the box. But some people call these the All-Stars, which sounds a lot better. Anyways, on the bottom, what you're looking at down there, very much your standard outsole that you've seen on pretty much any other foamposite, minus the whole glowy sort of thing going on. There is a little bit of crap on the tip of this one, but hey, it happens, whatever. And so there's that for you. Not a whole lot else to say about it. If there's any pictures or whatever worth slipping in on account of the effects that this puts off, I'll do that later. Moving on, midsole though, you're going to be seeing a little bit more of that popping up just because it is the whole outsole there and it pops up on the side. And then down here in the inner areas, you do have that little, like carbon fiber thing, and that's also going to be on the inside as well. So you got that going on. And now we're pretty much done with the lower piece of the shoe because there's not a lot to talk about. But this upper though, this kind of has a lot to say about it. So looking in here real quick, any of those overview shots or whatever, you can kind of tell it's largely just kind of be this black, this like weird glossy effect going on. And when you look closer in there, it's got these little swirly, almost marble-ish type of finish to it. So hopefully the pictures come out like it does in real life because I think it's a pretty cool look. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm on board with it. So anyways, just looking in here real close, like you kind of have that going on amongst the whole outside of the shoe, right? And so as you get down in here just a little bit deeper into there's no real reason to get too deep into it, I guess, because the shoe is very much plain. It's just one big piece. But down here around the lining area, what you have there is more plush than on the outside. It's not going to be leather or anything like some of them. I'm not sure what it is. It just feels like plastic, honestly, but I would assume it's not. Maybe it's like that patent leather type material, whatever they use to make that shiny. But either way, so down here, you basically have the same thing you had on the outside, just not as stiff. And you got a little Nike swoosh down there, right? Just enough branding to let you know what it is. And that goes all the way up to the top area here, then it just kind of stops at the top of the laces. And then when you swing things on around to the back, what you're looking at back here is pretty much just going to be, what is this, All-Star Indiana and Indianapolis, right? And it's got a little bit of a hologram thing, which switches between saying All-Star and the Nike logo, and the NBA logo is in there too, right? So hopefully I can make that happen for you guys, so that way you know what I'm talking about. And that is largely the outside of the shoe. I mean, we'll come back around to the front, finish things off with these laces and all that. So down here, you've got the standard black laces that you're gonna find on most foams, right? So it's kind of flat, but it's got like a, I don't know, an edge to it. I don't know how to describe these laces, but if you've seen a pair of foams before, you've seen these before. Maybe just in a different color, perhaps. Behind that, the tongue seems to have a lot of that same material as you had on the lining here just outside of the laces. So you got that going on, and then at the very top you've got that 1 cent logo thing going on there, and that finishes off above it with this little pull tab, which is very much the same as the pull tab on the back, black with some white strips, or maybe you can see it as being white with some thicker black strips. You know, depends on how you want to look at it, right? The world is yours, do what you want. And then behind that you've got this meshy sort of feeling going on that makes up this little sock liner type of thing, kind of like what you have on like Huaraches or Jordan 7s. So, dipping on into the inside, now that that's all out of the way, down in there, you're gonna see that same logo that you saw on the front of the shoe, because why not? And otherwise, it's just gonna be kind of black down in there, and that's where that Barely Green comes in. You also, on the inside of this here sock liner thing, you kind of have that Barely Green color going on there as well. So there's that for you. But past that, and it is feeling very soft in case you're curious. So I do like that about it. But otherwise, like, those pictures should kind of tell you exactly what all is going on in there. One thing I did kind of gloss over was this big strip down the middle here, but you probably saw it in one of the million pictures that you've seen in this video. So sometimes it doesn't matter if I don't say anything, because you see it. I know you do. Unless you're not watching this part and you're just skipping to the on-feet portion, which is about where we are now. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just ride right on into that. Sizing, right? Now, I don't buy a lot of foams, like I said, because, well, they just don't make a lot of good ones. But when I do, I go true to size. Some people disagree on that. Between the ones and the pros, a lot of people find that they fit differently and all that stuff. But hey, it is what it is. So if you're one of those people that has a varying opinion, go ahead and leave that down below so other people can see it. Because I feel that it's important to get more opinions than just mine. Mine, as I would normally say about these, is to just go true to size, right? Some people say that they're snug and whatnot and they need to go up half a size. I stick with the true to size thing on account of the whole molding to your foot aspect that the foams bring. Because if the shoe is too big, then you're gonna kind of miss out on that technology, which is a piece of the price on these, right? So you're essentially just gonna be paying for something you're not using. That's the way I see it. Maybe some of you see it the same way. Anyways, past the whole sizing thing, right? When you're walking around in these, like, are they comfortable? That is a thing where people also vary with their opinions, right? I would say they are. I can put a pair of foams on and walk around all day and be just fine, right? Because the midsole is pretty solid. It's got that air zoom thing, zoom air, whatever going on down there, right? So you got that. But then past that, it's just, for some reason, even though these are a little clunky and whatnot, just to look at, and they're very bulky, no one's going to deny that, they still feel pretty comfortable, right? At least to me. I don't know why, because it's a bit of an opposite ends of the spectrum when you look at stuff like that. But for some reason, it all comes together and it just works out fine, at least, again, in my opinion. If you have another opinion, please leave it down below, though you probably already have, because some people do that. But yeah, top to bottom, I'm cool with these. They're also going to be something that you can wear in like any kind of weather or whatever. Or I should say bad weather, because this outside is going to keep your foot all nice and rained upon or whatever, right? So there's that. But past that, I don't really see much else to talk about, because it's a Foamposite. Like what else can you say? Like once you see it, like you probably know what you're getting into already. So let's just stop and do something else. Which for me is, well, actually, you know what? I was about to cut this video off, but I'll give you my personal thoughts, right? I kind of alluded to it before. This Foamposite right here, after getting in there and really looking at it overall, I'll break out this light thing real quick. Like everything about these is pretty nice, right? So when I saw that I wasn't gonna get them, I had just initially moved on. But I'm kind of glad that I was able to get them. This isn't doing anything but wasting my time. But yeah, I was kind of just gonna move on and say whatever. But now that I have them, I'm kind of like, yeah, this is pretty all right. So good on you, Finish Line. You get a thumbs up from me. Normally they get thumbs downs because they're so hard to deal with, you know, and they always say no to me on the raffles. But today they're okay. You might give them a gold star. Maybe not gold, maybe silver, you know, because there's still some animosity there. But now I think we're good. Have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I'll be back eventually with other shoes because I think something's supposed to arrive today or something. Later, people.